Okay, people. Well, today I'm joined by Cameron Francis because Cameron's got a new film coming,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Cameron, welcome to the podcast, man. Thank you for
Thank
the
you so
time.
much, Kevin. I appreciate it.
No worries at all. So, yeah, you've got a new film
Yeah.
cover,
Yeah.
right? And the funny thing is, right? I mean, like, apologies, people, because you probably heard this, but I do not, watch trailers. Like, I don't do a lot of reading up on a film before I watch it because I don't want to, anything spoil, right?
Right.
Is
Yeah.
sometimes in the synopsis they point out. Oh, and by the way, midway through the film, there's going to be a big twist, and you're just like, "Why did you tell me that? Like, what are we doing?" You know.
Yeah.
What I mean? So it's just I like going in like blind is the best way.
Yeah.
And with this, firstly, I thought it might be a sci-fi film. So
Ah,
I was looking at it and I was like, is it pronounced Cova? Is it Cova? Like, what is this? Is it foreign? Is that a foreign word? Like, and then you're watching it, it's cover.
yeah.
It's
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 cover. Yeah.
it's cover.
It is.
And
Yeah.
then it's a film about a stamp collector. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, yo, what is this?
What is happening? Yeah.
I mean, if someone had said, you know what I mean? Like, yo, I've got this film and it's about a stamp, it'd be like, I mean, really?
Yeah.
Is,
Like what? Yeah.
is it gonna be interesting? Like, well, what's gonna happen? Right?
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna learn how many times you meant to lick a stamp? Like,
Yeah.
what is this about? God damn, Cameron,
Yeah.
this was gripping.
Thanks,
It's
man.
really gripping. A
Thank you.
fantastic job.
Thank you. I
Right?
really appreciate it, man. That's great to hear. Yeah. Yeah, I had a bunch of scenes about how many times you're supposed to lick a stamp, but then I decided to cut them for time. So I didn't go there, but we were going to cover all that, all the how to put it on the envelope, all of it. But
Well, it's always the right, like, how much space do you give around it, right? How
right,
far into
exactly.
the corner do you put the stamp? Like,
Right,
what?
exactly. Like, who knows these things? Are there
I thought,
regulations? Will they not
yeah,
mail it if it's too far over? I don't know.
I
Who knows?
thought all of this would be unraveled
Yeah.
in this
Yeah.
spine chiller,
It's
and it
just if
wasn't.
it's going to be on the deleted scenes on the Blu-ray when that comes out. That'll be all the
Oh,
scenes.
fantastic, fantastic. Yo, so how did all of this come about? Where did this idea come from?
Right. That's a really good question because I am not a stamp collector in real life. What
Mhm.
happened was, okay, so what happened was I've made some, starting in COVID, I made some sort of one-man band short films by myself because I'm like, you know what? I've always wanted to make movies. I'm locked down. Let's start making movies.
Yeah.
And the technology, I have an iPhone and I have a computer. I'm like, hey, I got to shoot movies and edit them right here, which I wasn't able to do a few years before that.
Mm.
So I started doing it. And then about 2023, I was like, you know what? I want to make a movie. I want to make like a feature. I want to make a feature. I have no money. I've got a camera. I've got a decent camera, but I've got no money. I've got really nothing. What can I write about? And I said, well, okay, I've got a car. Great. I'll write it so that a lot of it takes place in the car. And then I thought, I want this character to be someone who travels. And I'm like, well, people who like do conventions and stuff travel. Well, what kind of convention could I go to? And I thought stamps I know they're valuable, or they can be.
Yeah.
And as terms of a prop, a MacGuffin, it's something I could print off my printer and wouldn't cost me any money.
Mm.
So I thought, oh, I'll just make the guy a stamp collector. And so I did some research about it and stuff. So basically the whole thing spun out of, I have no money to make a movie. How can I make a movie? What could the MacGuffin be? What could the main setting be? And I just kind of took it from there and started writing. That's how it came out.
Right. Because the Safadi brothers have got their new film,
I
which is
love,
about
oh yeah.
trading cards.
Oh, interesting. Actually, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So,
Yeah.
like that's the
Right.
new one with Sandler. Is going to be about trading. So I wondered, like, had you heard about that? So you're
No.
thinking, okay, can't do trading cards, right? Because
Yeah.
when you think about the other things that you
Right.
could, like, comic books,
Right. Yeah.
but I guess you'd have to have a big van right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Transporting
yeah,
like all of the books, and even if
right.
he was an artist, it's
Yeah,
just transporting everything.
right,
So then there's like an insurance seller,
right.
pharmaceutical sales, but so
Yeah,
there's other things, but we've
right.
kind of seen the pharmaceutical, we kind
Yeah,
of seen the insurance.
yeah.
So, but I don't know if I would have thought of stamps.
Yeah, it's kind of yeah, and it's this sort of, interesting thing, and I know people are really into it. Stamps and coins, I feel like, kind of go hand in hand. In fact, there's a scene in the film where we're at a stamp show, but
Mm.
really it was actually a coin show. And it was one of those things where, I made this, like, again, I made it for no money, no permits, no nothing, and I needed footage from a convention, and I knew there was a coin show in town, so I went to the coin show and just pulled out my camera and started shooting stuff. But when you watch the footage, you don't know what it is that
No.
they're selling at these tables. It could be anything. So I just said, hey, it's a stamp show, but so there's all kinds of interesting collectibles that people like you say, comic books, trading cards, stamps, coins. And so I just needed something that was like portable enough that could fit into a Honda Civic and small enough. And also something, like I said, that I could just go find stamps online and print them on my printer, and it wouldn't cost me any money. So there you go.
No, man,
Yeah.
like, yeah. But I think that is the great thing, though, because
Yeah.
it isn't necessarily something that just jumps into people's minds.
Not at all. No.
So it's something different,
It's different.
right? Like,
Yeah, different angle.
there's some things, and we've seen like, how many art heist films have we seen?
Right.
We've
Right.
seen a ton.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so and the problem is you're always judging against your favorite.
Right. That's
You know
true.
what I mean?
That's
Because
true. Good point.
when I did my dissertation at uni,
Mhm.
it was because I knew that, like, going into, as I did marketing, right? And I knew that in the third year I'm gonna have to write a dissertation.
Yeah.
And so I was talking to people that had done the course. I'm like, yo, so how did you find it? Like, how many words, right? And you're going, oh, that's a lot of words, right? So it's got to be something that's I'm interested in, or
Right.
I can at least know I can write on this subject.
Right. Yeah.
And then I'm just like, so what kind of things did you? And then they're like, well, a load of people write about, buy one, get one free schemes, budget airlines. They gave me a load of topics that people write on. And I'm like, okay, I'm not touching any of those.
Right. Perfect. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's
Yeah.
just, as I said, I might write something really good, but if the person before, the one they read before, they did the same topic and theirs is exceptional.
Right.
Now mine is being judged on that.
On that. Exactly.
So where I could have got a first, now I'm not getting a first because they're like, well, this one's a first. We don't think Kevin's is as good as that one. So we're going to give it this instead.
Yeah.
So it's like, I had to pick something that no one else was going to write about.
Right.
And could get just judged on its own merit. So I think it's always good when you can find that, right? Because no one's going to go, I mean, it's a bit like Ocean's 11, right? It's a bit like Thomas Crown Affair. They're not going to say that because this stands on its own now.
Yeah.
Which is great.
I mean, it's funny because, you're right. And it's funny though, but that was nowhere in my head when I was thinking. I just went, well, something I can do. But you are right. I mean, I can't think of many other, things where about postage stamps. I'm sure there's some subplots in movies that I'm not thinking of, but I can't think of a movie around it. So yeah, it's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, I think Zadie Smith wrote a book about a stamp collector.
Oh, okay, cool.
But I cannot think of any film where there was stamp collecting.
Yeah. So I'm at the vanguard. What can I say? I'm stamp collecting here. It's going to be Ocean 14 is now going to be set in a post office because of me. So.
You know what I mean? Yeah, they'll look back and be like,
he's
man,
it all.
Yeah, who'd have thought that, Avengers were gonna start collecting stamps? Where did this come from? Oh, well, it was back in 2025. Cameron Smith, Cameron
Right.
Francis.
Yeah. So funny. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
oh, right. So what was that research like?
It was a lot of just honestly, there wasn't. Well, I watched a lot of. There's actually some great stamp collecting videos on YouTube. Watched a
Okay.
lot of those. Read up also. Just went online and started reading about it. And the thing is about stamps is that it's just I mean, it's a whole universe there
Yeah.
because we've had them for hundreds of years now. So there's just tons of different types and things. But so it's just overwhelming. There's no way you could learn all at all. But what I needed something interesting. And at first, I was going to do like, which is I think what a lot of people think is like, okay, let's like research a really old valuable stamp that someone wants to steal or something. But
Mm.
then I sort of stumbled onto this thing having to do with the Apollo missions and
So
these
that's true.
yeah.
Oh,
And,
shit.
oh, it's
Because
true. It's totally true.
yeah,
It's
I
all
was,
true.
yeah, wondering because you're just
Yeah.
like, that's so, because I'd never heard of that,
No, no one
right?
has, and that's the thing, and I sort of happened upon it, I went, "Well, this is really" and it's not just about stamps in particular, it's about an entire envelopes, and
Mm.
I went, "Well, that's fascinating, let's do that." So that's how that came out, was I just sort of found it and thought, "This is an angle that's even more interesting because it's like stamps in space." So
Yes.
that's cool, and a weird scandal, and it was just bizarre. And yeah, it really happened. It's a true story. So
Oh, man.
yeah,
Oh, because once it's said, you do go, "Yeah, I mean, it's feasible."
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
well,
yeah,
why couldn't this happen?
yeah, it did.
Right?
Yeah,
Because there's, when people start doing things, everyone is always looking for the angle, right?
yeah, yeah.
So when you've got astronauts going into space, it's
Right,
just like, oh, what can we do to get some
right.
more value out of this?
Yeah,
Like, oh, maybe get them to do this or do that.
yeah,
So it's just
yeah,
like, of course,
yeah.
someone's gonna slip them some cash to
Right,
take,
right. Yeah.
these things up there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because they really were like a thing where, it was, they would go to the moon or space, whatever, and they would cancel these envelopes and it was legit, like, they would actually do it, but
Mm,
in this case, they were doing it sneakily, and they took a bunch of stuff they weren't supposed to take and were gonna sell on the black market or whatever.
yeah.
So, which they didn't wind up doing. The astronauts actually wound up not doing it, but it was a big scandal for NASA. And yeah, it's a very forgotten, no one remembers it, no one thinks about it thing, but it really did happen. So,
Mm,
and there's a lot more to it. I cut a lot of I mean, when I had the talking about it in the movie, I had to cut a lot of the story because it's actually a much longer story. So I just gave the
right.
bare bones in the film. So
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Huh.
yeah. I know.
Craziness, that.
I know. Yeah, yeah,
Boy, okay.
yeah,
Well, yeah, no, it's a subject that catches you, but
yeah,
you are gripped.
yeah,
You
yeah,
are enthralled with all of this and
yeah.
what's gonna happen. And I think especially that scene at the very beginning with the
Mhm,
other guy,
mhm.
so that makes you wonder, okay, so what's gonna happen here?
Right. Yeah.
Right? Because it's just like,
Well,
does he is what he has actually, is it actually legit, right?
right,
Is
right,
it, so you think the film might be something different
right.
because of that scene,
Yeah, yeah,
you know what I mean? Which is
exactly.
interesting.
Yeah.
Like, was that a reason for that scene?
Yeah, the reason for the scene was to sort of plant a seed that something's going on, but you're not quite sure what it is. I mean, it was sort of a thing where when I had originally written the script, I didn't have a scene like that at the beginning. You're talking about the scene in the hotel room, right? Where he's looking at
Yes.
yeah. So I didn't have that scene at first. And a friend of mine read the script. He goes, it might be good to like introduce this thing early on in some way. And I went, that is a good idea. And I'm a big fan of, introduce something and then let's just forget about it for a while, and then have a call back later, and you're like, oh right, that thing, so I like mystery and intrigue, and sometimes let's dangle a thread and then just forget about it for a while and then come back to it later. So it was really just there to establish that something was happening. There was something he was getting. We don't know what it is. We don't know what it's for. And then we later find out it's part of this scheme to, whatever. I don't want to give the movie away, but it's part of something, that's why it's there. It's just to sort of lay the groundwork. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it works.
Yeah. Thank you.
It does work. I think an interesting thing is with this, it's a lot about the detail. And it reminded me, I don't know if you've ever watched Doctor Who.
And it's funny. I've watched some Doctor Who, and the only reason I haven't watched a ton of it is because talk about a massive, there's so many episodes to watch. Yeah. I get intimidated every time I try to start. So, but I know the basic premise.
Okay. Well, no. So as a kid, right, it was on. So you check it out, but I never loved it.
Right.
And then, they tried to do the movie that flopped horribly. And then they, rebooted it. And a few of my friends loved it. And they were just always like, watch Doctor Who, Doctor Who. And I'm just like, this is terrible. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, the acting is just, it was because I think it started in those days when there was that clear difference between TV and film.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And you'd say to a movie actor, be like, yo, we got this great TV series. You couldn't hit someone back in the day with something like True Crime. Is it True Crimes? What's the that HBO 2?
Yeah, True Crime, is that what it's called? Or True Detective.
True Detective, that's it.
Yeah,
True Detective. Yeah. You couldn't sell that to a major star back in the day.
Right.
They would laugh in your face.
Yeah.
So you would get you'd get good TV.
Right.
But not every actor was the same level, let's say, right? And so some things would be hokey, and so I tried this Doctor Who, and I just wasn't vibing with it.
Yeah.
But then a guy came on board, Stephen Moffat, right, who wrote a series called Coupling, which is fan-friggin-tastic. It's so now you need to check the British version because they tried to do an American version. Yeah, that stunk. Right.
Yeah.
But the British version is hilarious. It's so well written.
Yeah.
And he wrote some episodes in the season before he took over as showrunner. And there was one where David Tennant was still the Doctor.
Yeah.
And he was doing stuff. And then he would pause. And it would look like he's having a conversation with someone. And there'd be like this odd flow to it, and it was a good episode, but you're like, what was going on there? So he took over, Matt Smith became the Doctor, and then we get the bookend to the Tennant episode. So we see, the pause was because he was handing something off to Matt Smith, and he was talking to, and when you see the other side you're like, that was so fucking smart.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that really fit together so well.
Yeah.
And it's a long-winded way to just be like, in your film, we have these moments where Maisie is doing something or saying something, and you're just like, And it's not till the end that then suddenly all of these things become clear.
Right.
That is good writing. That is very.
Thanks, man.
That's sharp. That's very sharp. Like, was that an easy thing to do?
Oh, well, it's interesting you say that, because so yes and no. at first the script had more dialogue, and I think explained things even more.
Mm.
And what wound up happening was when we were shooting, I started to sometimes I would edit before we would shoot. I go, this scene's too long. I need to cut it down, and we'd shoot it. And then afterwards, I go, though, I probably should have left some lines. And I mean, this is one of the things I learned making the movie. I'm like, I probably should have left some. So in a way, I wouldn't say it was easy in the sense that, I mean, it did take me a little while to get all these ends tied together. But I think for me, when I watch the movie now, I go, oh, I should have left that thing in. Oh, I should have left this in, because like some things, and I guess it's okay that some things aren't entirely clear, entirely explained, but I think I could have done even more. But I am happy. I feel like it's a nice middle ground where I landed. But yeah, it was interesting because sometimes I'd write myself in a corner and I'd go, now what? And I'd have to think about it for a really long time and go, I have no idea how to get from there to there. And then it would hit me. I'm like, oh, of course, this and blah, 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 So there was a little bit of that. And there was also some last minute changes I made. Like we had finished principal photography and then I went, I'm missing something here and here. And I went back and reshot stuff to tie certain things together even more that I think work better now. So, yeah, there was it was an interesting process. I love stories like that. I love stories where you like Park Chan-wook movies. I don't know if you ever watched any of his South Korean director, his movies. He is amazing at, you start watching this movie and then halfway through, it kind of goes back and you're watching it again from a different point of view. You're like, oh, wow, that's cool. So I love stuff like that. I love seeing like, oh, wait a minute, that's why this happened and blah, 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 blah. So I was very influenced by that kind of thing. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes it. Yeah, I haven't seen this. I can't do subtitles. I've got
okay. Yeah.
So it's just like but I do love that kind of film, like Memento and things
like
that.
Memento is my all-time favorites.
Like Memento is crazy because you're watching it and you're like, oh, poor Guy Pearce. And then you get to the end, you're like, what a piece of shit. God damn it. Guy Pearce, fuck you. Yeah.
Love it. I love it. Yeah, man. It's so true. It's so true. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's always when a story can do that.
Yeah.
Right. I remember reading Dune Messiah, because it's so like Dune is like crazy thick and Dune Messiah is like tiny. It's like the Hobbit size. And you get to a point and you're just like, I mean, this is interesting.
Right.
But how are they going to wrap this up? There's like, I don't think there's enough pages to conclude this story.
Yeah.
And then suddenly it's like dominoes. Everything just falls into place. And you've got things that were set up at the beginning that then just stopped and now they're here. And you're like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. So it's just like, when a story can do that and keep you unawares of what it's doing.
Right.
There is something special about it.
Yeah, I love stories like that. That's wonderful. Yeah, it was definitely a challenge, and also too because we only had. I mean, I only had my actors for so many days, so we had to shoot so quickly. So, and fortunately, I mean, we pretty much got what we needed to get. But man, it was a struggle. I was like, oh God, we got to get all this stuff because otherwise this is not going to make sense. So we were constantly, working against the clock there. But fortunately, we did, which was great. So
yeah, like being the editor. I mean, actually, when you started, were you the editor? Because there's so many times I speak to people that are like, actually, I wasn't meant to, but then it just budget and just other things, and it just worked out that I did. But were you always going to edit this?
Yeah, I absolutely. And it's not, it's just, and strictly as you said, it's a budget thing. I had no money, so I had to do kind of everything myself, which I had already had a lot of practice with. I made 9 short films. And so I had a lot of practice with doing everything myself before. So I thought, okay, I'm going to apply this on a feature film, but just do it. But I mean, I did, and I did have a little bit of help. My girlfriend helped me shoot a lot of stuff, which was amazing. Uh, Chris Schmidt, who's in the movie, he helped out a lot. And Catherine, who plays Macy, she helped out a lot too. Between, sometimes if the camera was on me, she was helping me shoot, stuff too. Because a lot of times it was just us. Like we didn't have. I mean, I was setting up the camera and then let's go. So in terms of editing, yeah, I was like, right, I'm just going to have to do it myself, which I really like doing. And plus I knew, in my head, I know how I want it to go. So I'm like, it just makes sense for me to do it myself. I mean, really. So yeah.
Well, I think that's one of the big things, right? If you're editing, it's then going to make it kind of easier because in a scene, be like, we've got everything, right? So instead of having to do 4 or 5 takes, you're like, no, and if you're pushed for time and it's just like, right, we've got to do this and that scene and that scene, okay, actually, we're done with this scene because I know that what we have just done, I can make that work.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and that was it. Like, I'd be like, I got to get this shot, and this shot. And I know if I've got those and they're in focus and the exposure's okay, we're good. So, I'm like, let's, so it was a lot of that. It was a lot of, I knew I could, and that's the thing too. It's like I had my own system worked out. It was also easier. I mean, in the editing software, I do label my scenes for my own because I've, done that thing where I've gone to edit and then you don't do it. And then you are like, well, where's that shot? And you can't find it. So I make sure I take the time. I rename all my shots so that I can go in there and find everything I need, and audio too. And, like at first we were using, just little things. Like first we were using a clapboard and being real good about writing. And then after a while we're moving so fast, I'm like, look, I'll just say what the scene is. Give me a clap and let's go. So, we kind of lost the clapboard in the middle of shooting. It was like, this is too much. We just got to clap and I can sync it down that way. But that's the thing. If you're doing it yourself, I just came up with my own system that I knew. So, I didn't have to explain it to anybody. So I was able to work faster that way. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you're editing. So what that means, what that is. So it's kind of like, we can cut the process down slightly. We can be a little bit more efficient.
Yes.
Because I'm, the one that's going to have to kind of break it all down in the end, which is, I mean, there's something there. There's something to that. And there's also, I think it's very important what you just said. You took the time to make sure you labeled everything because there's being like, okay, if I do this role and this role, we can be efficient, right? But then if you're just like, I'll remember, it's fine.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I go right to that. As soon as I load that footage, I'm labeling everything because, there's just too much. There's too much footage, you're going to get lost.
I mean, the amount of times, right, when I've dabbled in stand-up, right? And I've been like walking or in the gym and I've been like, oh, yeah, what if like, oh, that's a great setup. And be like, how much time? I'll remember this by the time I get home. And then you get home and you're like, oh, what was I saying?
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah.
I can't remember. Or you have an idea for like a film or a poem or something, and you just be like, I'll remember in the morning. And then you wake up and you're like, huh.
Yep.
What was I thinking of? So it's just like, take that time, people.
Yeah.
Make those corrections, make those notes, label things properly because it's gonna actually save you time in the long run.
It does. I am gotten very good at opening my notes app when I get an idea and writing it down right away because I've got tons of stuff in there because I'm like I've same as you. I mean, I've had story ideas. I've had ideas. Well, even while shooting, I'm like, oh, on the day we shoot this scene, I have to remember to do this. And unless I wrote it down, I'd probably forget. So I made sure
Yeah.
I wrote it down ahead of time, made all my notes, because you think you're going to remember, and then you don't. You get in the moment, you panic, and everything's going, and you just forget. So,
oh man, the Notes app
yeah,
is
brilliant.
one of the most valuable apps.
So good. I love it. Love it.
Oh man, like, you know, you said you've shot a lot of shorts, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what was it that made you go, I can do a feature, right? And I can do this feature along the lines of, you know,
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
Korean films I really like, these intricate kind of storytelling. I can do that,
Yeah.
right? Your first feature. What
Right.
the hell was the thing that made you go, yeah, it's time. Let's go.
That's a really good question. Here's the thing. I've written a ton of feature-length scripts. I mean,
Yeah.
for ever since I can remember, never really done much. I've entered some of the competitions. I've shown them to friends and said, "Hey, let's try to make this." Nothing ever worked out. But I have a lot of experience writing, so I knew I could write a feature film, just because I've done it a lot. In terms of making it, it was here's the thing. When you read books about filmmaking or watch videos or whatever, it's very intimidating because people are like, okay, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to have this, you got to have this, you got to have this, and you got to have that. And it's like, my brain can't take it. I'm like, I will never make a movie because I can't do all these things. And I don't know how to ask people. And I don't have money to hire people. But I thought, I've been making these short films and I have a system of making them now. And they're, okay, so it's 10 minutes, but what if, how could I do 80? I'm like, well, I could just treat it like a short, but it would just film it over a longer period of time. I sort of tricked myself into thinking I could do this. And eventually it came to the point where I said, there's no right way of doing this. And nobody's going to ever come to me and say, will you please make a movie? If I want to make a movie, I just have to make a movie. A lot of people say, well, you got to budget this. And I said, I didn't budget any of my shorts. What I did was I just started making them. And if I needed something, I bought it, but I tried not to buy it. I tried to buy as little as possible. So I said, okay, I'm going to make a movie, but I'm only going to buy what I need. And I'll just keep track of what I spend, but I'm not going to budget it because my brain will explode. The only thing I budgeted for was my actors. I knew I wanted to pay them a certain amount. Because being an actor, I'm a professional actor. It's what I do. And I have a lot of actor friends. And I was like, if I'm going to use my actors, I have to pay them. I can't not pay them. So what I did was I had done a commercial and I had gotten some residuals for it. And I put those residuals aside. I said, that's for my actor. That's the money I'm going to pay my actors.
Nice.
That's the only thing that I was like, I knew, like, this much money goes to actors. Everything else, props, whatever, I was like, I'm just going to kind of make what I can make. And if I need like an extra thing here and there, I'll buy it. And I kept track on a spreadsheet. So I did it the way you're not supposed to do it. But is there a way to do it? I don't know. You just kind of do it. I just said, right, we're going to do this. Let's have a reading. We're going to, and then I planned out like, okay, well, when are you free? And when are you free? And it took us 10 months to get all the principal photography done because people's schedules. And we just had to shoot 2 days this month and 3 days this month and maybe a couple hours here and until we had it all together. And I just made sure, the one thing I made sure of was that I kept track of everything really well, like what I've already shot, what I need to shoot. I had spreadsheets. And that was it. I just sort of did it is the only way to say it. And I didn't follow any guidelines. So,
okay. Well, no, I get that, right? Because I think there's something in like these courses and the books and all of it. There's definitely some value in all of that.
Totally, 100%.
But the problem is, right, you're told this is the format everything should be in.
Yes.
And then every now and again, right, someone comes along and they do things completely different, and it works, and everyone's raving about it, and it's just like, this is incredible. And people are just like, wait, I thought it was only meant to be 3 acts and you had to do it like this, and be like,
Right.
oh well, this person, they're maverick and they're a great orator and they
Right.
can
Yeah.
do it, but only they can do it. No one else,
Right. Exactly. No one
only
else can do it.
they
Yeah.
can do it.
Right.
So you kind of learn that these rules aren't hard and fast,
Right. Right.
because someone can come and do something different. It's
Yeah.
just the fact that the person that writes them, that's the way they do it,
Right.
and they can't think of doing it a different way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anything else is wrong, right? But
Right.
if you can keep track of money, right, then just do the budget like how
Right.
you did it, right? If you can do things in this different way,
Right.
right? If in your head a story works in this fashion, do it like that.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because you're not wrong.
Right.
Just because we haven't seen it before
Yeah.
doesn't make it wrong.
Yeah.
And you should just be free to experiment.
Yeah.
And
I
it
and it's so much, these days, I mean, that's the thing. I always say technology has reached sort of this critical mass where, I didn't shoot this movie on my phone, although I did shoot a little bit on my phone. Actually, there's some shots in the movie that are on my phone. I used a camera that I bought a few years ago, but man, I mean, you just need a memory card and a decent mic, and
Yeah.
really, it's not, it's not and when we filmed a lot of it, we filmed in I said a lot of things in like parking lots and stuff, because I'm like, if I'm in a parking lot and I just have a camera and I stripped my camera down so it didn't have any gear on, it just looked like a regular camera, and we've got lav mics on and we just start doing a scene, it's like no one's going to bother us. I mean, like, we're not bothering anyone. Like, no one's really going to think anything of it, because everyone's got cameras nowadays. Who knows what we're shooting? We could be shooting a TikTok video.
Well, that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Because now people are pulling cameras out
Right.
and shooting everywhere.
Right.
So yeah, someone's just been like, oh, fucking kids, TikTok.
Right.
Oh, they're doing something. Yeah. So yeah, unless you are in the middle of a walkway or something like that,
Right. Yeah.
no one technically is going to be like, excuse me.
Right.
Me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No one's going to bother you.
No one did. We didn't get really bothered. And so we did a lot of that. I mean, I spent about maybe $200 on locations. I got 2 hotel rooms, both really cheap. And actually, was that the only thing I spent money on? And a campsite for the scene. There's a scene that sort of takes place like in a wooded area, and I just rented a campsite for that. It was $26. But that way we had a nice little clearing that we could film in, and nobody would bother us. And so it was like less than $200 on locations. Everything else we just shot just in my car, or just sort of like near the car in a parking lot or whatever, just very discreet. We just try to be discreet and not, make ourselves real obvious. And, it's great production value. You get a whole, gotta get stores in the background and roads and everything. And it looks like you're, but it was great. I mean, it was I mean, sometimes it was a little nerve wracking, and it was hard to get stuff sometimes, because you're like, there was a couple of times where I was a little unsure, and I was like, I don't know if I should be here right now. Let's just do this real quick. But other than that, it was fine. One of my favorite filmmakers, and it's because that he was one of my inspirations, and he's everybody's inspiration, of course, is Robert Rodriguez with El Mariachi, right?
Oh, yes.
Right. From way back in the day, he made it, $7,000, and he had all this stuff in it. And ever since I saw that years ago and knew the behind the scenes, I was like, wow, how incredible is that? And so to finally like work up the nerve to try to do something like that, like he's the OG. He's the guy that I think anybody nowadays who like is just like, let's run and gun film and make a feature, like they all owe it to that guy, because he was one of the first to really talk about it, like how to make a movie for literally nothing,
There's not. I think the only other person I can, off the top of my head, like Linklater.
Yeah, Linklater, or yeah, Kevin Smith, I think made Clerks for very little money,
Yeah, yes, that's true. Kevin
Yeah,
Smith did
yeah,
that with that. But yeah, a lot of people try and do that traditional route, right?
yeah, yeah,
Because I think that's the thing, you're told, right?
right,
Go get a location scout, right? Book your
yeah,
locations, do this, do that. But
yeah,
it's just like, yeah, you could do all of those things. But
yeah,
when you've got limited money,
yeah,
right? And you have to go, okay, what can okay, I can afford all of this, but I can't afford that.
yeah,
Then it's just like that one thing is now the thing holding you back from doing what
right,
you really want to do.
yeah, yeah,
So what do you do?
yeah,
Like go a little gonzo, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Just take a risk,
Yeah,
right?
take a risk, just do it. Yeah. It's what do they say? It's better to ask for forgiveness than permission or something like that. So yeah, just go for it. Like literally just go for it. That's
Yeah.
what you got to do. And I'm not like by nature, I'm very shy. I'm not a bold person. I don't like making a scene in front of people. I'm very like, but I just had to sort of swallow it and go, you know what? We're just going to do it, guys. We're just going to do it and make it happen. So
Mm,
that's what we did for a lot of those shots. Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah.
Well, it did all pay off.
Yeah. Thank
It
you.
did all pay off, man. So
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
Like, how was the casting process for this?
So interesting. When I wrote it, the parts of Vic and Dale, I wrote specifically for my friends who I worked with. I worked with here in Orlando. I'm based in Orlando, and I've worked at Disney and Universal. And they're guys I know from Disney and Universal, and we had known each other for years. And I had made all these short films, and they were like, "Hey, we'd love to do something with you." And I was like, "I want to have you guys do something. Let's do something." So eventually, I said, "Right, I'm going to write a movie. I'm writing 2 roles for you guys." In terms of Macy, I wrote it, and then I went, "Well, I know lots of actresses. Surely someone will come to mind." And at first, I was struggling. I was like, "I don't know. Who do I know who's got the right amount of sort of I wanted that sort of cutting humor,
Mm,
but could also play the emotion." And actually, I say this. I mean, I know lots of people that could do it, but it was like also I need a certain type and all this. And it was so weird because I work with Catherine, and all of a sudden one day I'm talking to her, and she said something really made me laugh, and I went, "God, she's great for this. Like, why don't I just ask her?" So I literally just asked her. I was like, "Do you want to do a movie?" And she goes, "A movie?" And I said, "Yeah." And she said, "Well, do you want to audition me?" And I was like, "I'm pretty confident you're going to be good for this." I had a lot, I don't know why. I was just very confident. I was like, "I think you're going to be fine. I don't even need to audition you. I just want you to do it. Just at least come, we'll come to the house, we'll do a reading of it." Right. And she goes, "Okay, well, if the reading doesn't work out and you don't think I'm right for it, you don't have to use me." And I'm like, "Okay, fair enough." But I was like, in my mind, I'm like, I know she's right for this. I know it. And we did the reading, and sure enough, I thought she was great. And I'm like, cool, job done. The other few people in the movie are other actors I knew and worked with. And I just asked them, I was like, "Do you want to do something?" And just pays a little bit of money, but and they were gung ho. Yeah. So I just got lucky. I just know a lot of really talented people. So I was able to
nice.
put them in the movie. Yeah.
Hey, well, you know what I mean? Like, that's perfect, really.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's great. The idea of auditioning, especially because the group of actors I know they're such a small group. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I don't want to like audition people and turn people down. So I really tried to like just cast who I knew
Yeah.
and not audition them.
Mm, mm. But I think the thing being, right, when you've got a community,
Yeah, yeah,
it is that thing of like, well, it kind of should be this thing, right? Where you
yeah.
support each other, you
Oh
help each
yeah,
other out,
yeah,
right? And it's
yeah.
just, it's you don't have to have someone as the lead. They could be
Right.
the guy running the petrol station or something,
Yeah.
but like you
Right.
can all go, all right, I'll help you. You've got a
Yeah.
film going, right? I can play that little part doing
Yeah.
that, and then boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, and you just help because it brings
Yeah.
down costs. But
Totally.
the main thing is, right, because you're all trying to do that same thing, right?
Exactly.
You're all
Yeah.
trying to show you have the ability to, you know what I mean, create.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
for a major studio to invest in you, you need to invest in yourselves,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so if
Totally.
you're all helping each other, you're all helping each other get to that point.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It just
Exactly.
it's a
Yeah.
no-brainer, really.
It really is. Yeah, and everyone was so great. Like Greg, who plays two roles in the movie. He plays the guy who in the beginning, you're talking about the hotel scene. He's the guy in the hotel scene, but he's also the voice of the rich guy. I had him
Mm.
do two roles because he was like he was doing the voiceover for me, and he goes, "Hey, if you have anything else," I was like, "Actually, I do." I was like, "Do you want to come in and play another role?" So it was cool. I mean, I got to use him twice because the one time you just hear his voice, and he put on kind of a very different voice for it, so you don't even know it's the same guy. I mean,
Yeah.
it's great, you know. So it was really fun to be able to be flexible like that and be sort of spontaneous and go, "Hey, look, I'd love to have you come do something else. You know, come on in and do this scene too." So yeah, you're right. It is. We're very supportive of each other. And I've told them, I said, listen, from now on, whatever projects I do, there'll be something for you guys in it. I don't know what it's going to be necessarily, but there's always going to be something. So,
Mm.
you know, and in fact, we're about to start another film, and Catherine's back, Garen's back, you know, everybody's coming back. So it's pretty great.
Awesome. Well, it
Yeah.
sounds like the big thing is become a friend of Cameron Francis,
Yeah. Be my
right?
pal.
And be like, yo, do you want to grab a coffee after this? You
Yeah.
know
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. Right. Be in a movie. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Oh man. No, it's when you're thinking about this whole thing, right? This whole process,
Yeah.
what did you kind of think would be the major hurdles, right? Those things that would be like, I want to make a film, man, but
Right.
these things could be the stumbling blocks.
Yeah. I mean, certainly time was a big one because I knew that, because I only had actors for a certain amount of days because that's all the money I had. I was like, right, I can do these many days with these people. It was tough, and that was, and we always didn't have full days either. Some days it was like we can only squeeze in 4 hours today,
Yeah.
so we got to do what we can. I knew that would be hard. I also knew that, like there were certain things I wrote. I'm like, I didn't have necessarily a location for it, and I'm like, I'll say we're going to shoot on this day, and I'm like, I got to force myself to find somewhere to shoot this because I don't know what we're going to do. And so it was kind of a fun challenge in a way though, because it made me like go, right, let's be resourceful. It's like,
Yes.
I don't have a location yet, but we're shooting this on Saturday. I got to find something. So that was fun, but also a little stressful. And the other hurdle too was, of course, because I'm acting in it, and it was honestly, and I know this sounds like I don't, oh, I didn't really want to be in it. But honestly, I didn't want to be. I really did want to just be behind the scenes. The problem is that I knew that if I played the role, that's one less actor I have to pay.
Mm.
And I knew I could do it. I was like, I know I can play this role. It's a challenge directing yourself sometimes because, you know, you're sometimes just kind of guessing. Especially when also sometimes you're filming yourself too. But again, I was making these other films, so I kind of got good at that, like setting up a camera and filming myself. But it's not ideal, but you know, it was something I had to do in order to get the film made. So that was hard because there were certain shots I really wanted that I couldn't. It was hard to get, you know, and things like that. So those are some of the major challenges, and also honestly, just little technical things, you know, sound issues, things like that. It was hard. I mean, you know, like sound is rough, man. It's hard. Only when I say that, it's hard when you are not in a controlled environment, and we were in completely uncontrolled environments most of the time. So it was tough. You know, it was tough to get sound sometimes. I had to do a lot of things where, like, there'd be a brilliant take, but I'm like, oh, but there's like a horn in the background. So I'd have to take audio from another take and try to sync it up with their mouths from the other take. And that wasn't ideal, but you know, again, we do what we have to do to get these things done. So
But it's all that learning curve, right?
oh yeah, I
All those
learned
things
so
that then
much.
set you up for the
Oh yeah,
next project. So
yeah,
knowing that you've
yeah,
overcome all of this,
right.
it's I'm sure you're gonna feel more confident going into the next.
I learned, I made so many mistakes that I've learned from, and I'm excited to make more mistakes in the next one that I will also learn from.
Well, I think that is the big thing, right? If
Right.
everything went smoothly,
Yeah.
right, and everything kept on going smoothly,
Yeah.
and then suddenly, Warner Brothers give you a load of money. They're like, "Yo, we want you to make the new Jason Bourne film," and you're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, incredible!" And then things start coming up, and you're like, "I've not dealt with this before.
Yeah.
Fuck, what do
Yeah.
I do?" Like,
Right.
and so now you're in the biggest situation, but you have no clue how to navigate because you've not come across any of those issues. So
Yeah.
it's just like, have all the issues now.
Yeah.
So then once the opportunities are there, you're
Right.
golden,
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, that's a great point. It does. It teaches you to think on your feet, to problem solve quickly, and to learn how to do things when you don't have. I think doing something when you don't have the proper resources to do it is a great way to learn, because then when you do, you're like in the lap of luxury. But if
Oh,
something
man.
goes wrong, you can say, hey, you know what? You know, this, when I made my movie for no money, I just did this
Yeah.
and it worked. And great, let's just do that then. I think that can be a real asset, especially to a production that's where something goes wrong or things are over schedule and you got to do things quick. So
Yeah.
learn how to
Yeah.
do them quick and cheap, and the people will be happy, I think.
Oh man, I think that's always, like in the work I do communications, right?
Mhm.
Marketing and comms. And like I worked a lot in the third sector, and charities have no money, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like you're trying to do things, but you have no real budget to
Yeah.
do these things. So you
Yeah.
learn these quick fixes and
Yes.
ways to navigate.
Yeah.
So then I remember I I worked for this other place, which is probably still the best place I've ever worked, right? And the team was incredible. And like, so I'd fundraise to get to launch our campaigns. And so I then got all the budget to do this thing. And I remember I got the call just before Christmas. So I'm just like, okay. So it was like, I think it's the beginning of December, I get the call, the budget has come through. And it's just like, okay, so now I've got to put so many things in play, because beginning of January is just like nothing happens.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
everything has to be ready to go.
Yeah.
So you're doing all of this, but I've got this big fucking budget, so much money. And you're just like, yo, from working with no money whatsoever,
Yeah.
for me, it's like, do I have to spend that money on that? Right?
Yeah.
It makes you just think, well, actually, I know how to do that
Right.
without money.
Right.
So when this company is going, well, if you give us 10,000, we can do, and it's just like, really?
Yeah.
That you think that costs 10,000 when
Right.
I've done that essentially for nothing?
Yeah.
Get the fuck
Yeah.
out of here, right? So it gives you that insight into things
Yeah.
and how to get things done and find good deals that work, because you're so used to doing it, on the fly with
Yeah.
no money, with
Yeah.
limited budgets and things.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And if you can bring a movie in under budget, the studios love you. So
You will be a champion for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like, once it was all said and done, right?
Mhm.
What was that like for you? What was the emotion because you spent all of this time. It's your first feature,
Yeah.
right? It is. I imagine there was a point where you just didn't even think that that's a feasible thing. So
Yeah.
you're all done. You finished the edits.
Yeah.
What were you thinking?
Well, that's interesting because I remember I finished an edit, which it's just funny that you say that because like I feel like it's never done. Like I feel like I'm always tweaking. I mean, I can't now because the movie has been delivered, so I can't do any more to it. Well, I can, but I'll have to wait a while until I can release my director's cut. But anyway, but when I had like what I thought was pretty much the end result done, I literally looked at this file on my laptop and I went, okay, so now what? Like, what do I do with it? Like, I don't know what to do, and except enter it into film festivals. And that is its own incredibly crazy world. And fortunately, though, I have a friend, a high school. This is kind of a crazy story. I have a high school friend who I haven't seen in 30 some years or whatever. She just happened to be in Orlando a couple of Decembers ago and saw me I do the Jason Bourne stunt show at Universal. I play a bad guy in it. So she happened to come see the show and she loved it. And she messaged me, she goes, "Hey, Cameron, it's Marissa. I haven't seen." I was like, "Oh my God, Marissa, I haven't seen her in, since high school," which was, 30 some years ago. And she's like, "Oh, it's great." And I asked, "Oh, so what are you doing now?" And she's like, "Oh, I run this film festival or something." And I said, "Oh," I was like, "That's crazy." Cause like I make short films and I'm working on a feature. And she goes, "Oh, well, let me know when it's done," or whatever. I was like, "Okay." So then, 9 months later, I go, "Hey, I pretty much am done with this thing. Do you want to look at it?" And I sent it to her and she watched it. She goes, "I freaking loved it." She's like, "It was great." She goes, "It wouldn't be right for my festival," because her festival is like, it deals with a different kind of film. But she started rattling off all these festivals that I should apply to, that I should send to. And in Valley, I mean, I wound up getting into another Hole in the Head festival in San Francisco, which is a really good genre festival, and Panic Fest in Dead City, which was really great and is why I'm talking to you, because that's how Horror Collective found out about me, was from that festival. So I owe so much to Marissa Cohen. She pointed me in the right direction, she was a real champion of the movie and really was like, it's a thriller. It's kind of she goes, it straddles the line of genre. She goes, it's like most, she was like, basically your sort of regular film festivals, they're not really looking for thrillers. She goes, but horror festivals might be. She goes, so try the horror circuit. And that's what I did. And that's why I'm going to Fright Fest in London next week, because we got the Fright Fest too. But I owe her so much. Marissa Cohen, she's a wonderful, she runs a festival in Portland called the Animation and Technology Film Festival, I think, something like that. Okay. She's great, and I owe all of this to her. So, because otherwise, as I told her, I said this thing would just be a gigantic file sitting on my laptop collecting dust. I wouldn't be doing anything with it. But yeah, and then that's why I got hooked up with the Horror Collective guys, who have been amazing so far. I can't thank those guys enough. They've really done a great job of getting the film out there. So we're going to be released on the 26th of August, and onto all the streaming platforms.
It's the 26th.
Yeah, 26th of August. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Because I think I might have said the 28th. So
that's okay. It's okay. Yeah, 26th, Tuesday the 26th. Yeah.
Okay.
It's literally the Tuesday right after Fright Fest ends on Monday, and then it is released Tuesday.
Okay.
So yeah, big shout out to those guys. I mean, to Horror Collective has been wonderful.
Yeah. But I think again, though, right, that really just highlights the importance of community.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Because it's like your actor friends, you all came together and did this, and then this lady went to school with, right? And the real big thing is, because the amount of times, right? Like I know people that work in certain fields and things like that. And I remember there was a point when I was trying to do acting,
Yeah.
but it just wasn't because of my eyes. I couldn't, because everything was on teleprompters and I couldn't
Yeah.
see the teleprompters.
I see.
Right.
Right.
And so it was just like, fuck, that's not going to work. But then I was thinking maybe voiceover acting. And I knew people and they're like, yes, I'll put you in touch. And then no one ever did. And you're just like, yo, what? And it's just like, sometimes you have these people, right? And then it's just like people, I've done work in the music industry and, I've been doing film stuff. And it's like, you think people and they're like, oh, I'll introduce you to this person. I'll do this. And then they never do.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's the people though, who do help, right? That is so invaluable.
So
Because
invaluable.
she could have gone, oh yes, and then just never done anything, right? But she is like, it doesn't quite work for mine, but here is all the knowledge you need.
Yeah.
And that's incredible. Because there's a load of people that say, it's like when you see those incidents, right, of someone getting mugged or I would have stepped in and helped. Oh yeah, that wouldn't have happened on my watch. I would.
Right. Yeah.
Something might happen, and then they're like, there's people are very happy and free to say, oh, I would always do this, but they will never back those things up. So when you come across those people that do, oh man, those people are incredible.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I sit there and say, I could say I made this movie by myself. Well, that's just not true. I mean, yes, a lot of it I was by myself, but I had incredible actors. I have an incredible, girlfriend who was supportive and who helped me out. I have people, beyond that who, like Marissa, who helped me get this movie in front of people. So it's really not, I can't claim, I mean, sure, like it was my idea and stuff. And I did some of the intensive labor to get it done, but it wouldn't be anything without those other people. I mean, nothing. So, it is really who and you're right. People who follow through and, who are your friends, your good friends. So
yes, people that are actual friends, right? Because there's so many people that will try and sabotage you, that will smile in your face, and then they'll go around the corner and be like, don't work with Cameron. He's not great. He's not talented. Don't work with him, and then be, oh, Cameron, it's so great to see you. Oh, and it's just like, ugh. So no, it's great to hear that all of this fell into place like that for you.
Absolutely. It's kind of astonishing. I still can't even wrap my head around it sometimes, because it's one of those things where you go, someday I'll make a movie. You know what I mean? And I feel like everybody says that, someday, and it's like, oh no, I made a movie. Like, wow, that's weird. Like, and so the fact that I'm sitting here talking to you right now or whatever, it's just so bizarre to me that this is happening, that this is out there and that you saw it and other people are going to see it. And it's crazy, but wonderful at the same time. And, I mean, I don't know. It's just sort of this thing where, you do something and you don't think anything's going to happen really. And then when things do happen, you're almost having an out of body experience about it. So,
Yeah.
Like,
I think it's that thing, right? You said earlier, with the advent of all this new technology, right? It is breaking down barriers and allowing people to do stuff. But the thing is, there's a load of people that go, I can do that.
Right.
Not everyone can do it.
Right.
The barrier to entry might now be very low. But not everyone can tell a story.
This is
right?
true. Absolutely. The tools are there, but that doesn't mean everyone knows how to use the tools, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and so yeah, that's just it. I mean, you know, I think I don't know any statistics on it or anything. I'm sure there are a lot more movies being made now than were being made before because people do have access to this
Mm.
stuff now. But I'd still be curious. I don't know that it still takes though a certain amount of discipline to do it, and you know, and patience, and you
Yeah.
know that you know I don't know. I mean, just because it's there doesn't mean it's going to get done. You know, so yeah.
Well, it'd be interesting to see like how many films get started and never finished, right?
I
Because
know a couple people who have that story right now. I know some actors who have been in stuff and they're like, yeah, the guy never finished it, you know, so.
yeah, yeah, that must be so frustrating.
I feel
Yeah.
terrible. I've actually I was involved in maybe 2 projects like that. And it is frustrating because you're like, oh man, I was hoping that would be something I could show people and have something for my reel, you know.
Mm.
So yeah, it is disappointing, but that's
I mean,
true. Yeah.
it's always interesting though, because sometimes you'll see that, you know, I'll have a conversation like this with you, and I'll be like, yo, the film's great, and the film is great for sure. But then you go, because, you know, putting the website together, right? So I try and make sure I'm giving everyone enough information, because the worst is, right, when you go, oh, that was really good. And then you click on the website and you're just like, but where do I watch it? When is
Mhm.
it out? And there's not much information there. So
Mhm.
I always
Mhm.
go, all right, I want to make sure all the release information is there.
Yeah.
I'll have the
Yeah.
website, the social media information, just as much as you can, I'll put up, right? But you go on the socials, and so you want to link to all the actors' socials who are in it. And you'll see that the actors do not mention this film on any of their platforms.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
just like, whoa,
Yeah.
right? And they'll mention that they were, you know, bar girl number 5 in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Right.
But
Right. Right.
they're the
Right.
lead of this great indie
Right.
joint,
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
not mention it.
Yeah.
And that is something that really baffles me.
Yeah, me too. Me too. And I can honestly say that's what's great because I know Catherine and Christopher, who are Christopher plays Dale in the movie, and Catherine who plays
Mm.
Macy. They've been great about they always repost stuff and post stuff, and they've been really wonderful about getting it out there on social media. I mean, I of course do my part as well, but yeah, they're very excited about being in it, which is it's funny because like it's this thing of like you know, imposter syndrome, right? It's like I'm so thrilled that they're so happy, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, but like, really? I mean, you're good with it? Like, you like what I do? Okay, you know, you know, it's just inevitable. You're going to have that imposter syndrome phase where you're like, oh, everyone's looking at it now. You know?
But I
So.
mean, did that change after your first festival?
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, because at Another Hole in the Head, it got an audience award for best crime feature, and I was like, oh, like I was totally shocked, and I was like, well, that's really nice.
Mm,
And you know, I know at Panic Fest people really liked it, and so. And I've been getting, you know, some inquiries for Fright Fest and stuff, and I've had a couple people watch it who got back to me and really enjoyed it. And so it definitely does sort of like, okay, well, maybe this is kind of legit, you know. But you know, I think it's kind of inevitable, though. I think we all, you know, have that different sides of ourselves, and
yeah.
one of those sides sometimes comes out. It's a little like, "Ooh, you know, really, like, you know, I'm a fraud. I'm a fake. Don't look away, you know.
Mm.
So, but I don't. It doesn't happen so much now. But I definitely have had that happen a couple times where it's just like it's like I don't know, man. But no, I'm thrilled that people have been responding to it well, and that certainly. I mean, like at Fright Fest, like it's gonna have 2 showings, and then after both, I'm gonna do a Q&A, and I'm
Oh,
like, I'm
splendid.
gonna do a Q&A? Like, this is crazy. So I'm really excited about that. Actually, I think it's going to be really, really cool. And I'm anxious to see it in the theater with other people, because I haven't watched it on a big screen yet. So it's my first time on the big screen.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you know how the Q&As are going? Is it just you, any of the cast there?
No, unfortunately, I asked everyone if they, but no one else was able to go. So I'm going. I'm the only person from the film going. They all wanted to be there, believe me. But so yeah, it'll be me, and yeah, and I think there'll be a host at the screenings. So yeah, it'll be interesting.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh, that's great, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah. No, that's really good. Like, with, because film is very subjective, right?
Yeah.
And what one person thinks is great, someone else might go,
Yeah. Sure.
that's not fair. Like, I did not enjoy Freakier Friday. And then I didn't enjoy Freaky Friday. Right? They're just like, I did really find endearing the Jodie Foster version.
Yeah.
Right? That worked for me. Like, the new version didn't necessarily work, but so many people love those. Like, I've got friends that love those, the first Freaky Friday. I haven't spoken to them about the second one yet, but they love that first one. So, it's all about taste and, the time you hear and all of that. But it's when you've created this thing and, like, you're taking it to festivals, right? So you're gonna have all those people in the screening see it. Right. And then all the people reviewing and all of that.
Yeah.
So there might be people that be like, oh, Cameron tries to do this, but it just doesn't work. It's like, oh, writing is horrible. It's like, this does. It's like, how do you deal with that side of things? Right. Because you have created something great. Right, the dialogue works. The camera work, the editing, your cast is great. It is really good.
Yeah.
Right, but when someone is, it's rubbish because of this. How do you? Because I know some people, you can have 20 people say it's great. One person says it's bad, and they're spiraling. Right.
Yeah.
How do you deal with the negative side of things?
A couple of different ways. First, I don't go out of my way to read reviews. And I say this because having done a lot of theater and stuff, I've been reviewed a lot. So, and I've gotten really good reviews, and I've gotten some mediocre reviews. So I'm kind of used to it. I mean, I say that like, I'm not a Teflon. I mean, sure, if I get a bad review, it's like, oh, that sucks. But I don't go out of my way to read them. If I stumble on one, I'll wind up reading it.
Yeah.
And it's like you read what someone says, and it's okay, point taken. And like, I don't agree with what they said, but that's their opinion, and so be it. There was actually a review from one guy wrote a review from Panic Fest that was just like, it was okay. Like he had some issues, and I like a couple of the things he had issues with, I went, okay, yeah. And then one thing I was like, well, I don't agree with that, but no, and I wouldn't change that even if I could. So, that's just his opinion. I mean, it's just people's opinions. I mean, I don't know, there's really, the only way to deal with it is to either ignore it or just take it in and be upset about it or whatever, and then let it go. You just got to let it go at the end of the day, because it doesn't mean anything. Right? No one really, the rest of the world doesn't care what I mean, like one review, not everyone in the world's going to read that review, and most people don't care anyway. And especially when you're dealing with genre movies, whether it's thrillers or horror, especially horror, it's so subjective. People
Yeah.
are passionate about these things. And, so it's a very, I love the community, the horror community, especially. I find horror fans to be some of the best people. Like, they're wonderful, and they just embrace, like, everything, and usually try to find the good in a lot of things. And, but I forget where I was going with that. But anyway, yeah, it's just, I just sort of deal with it. I mean, I don't get to, when I was younger, I think I used to take it more personally, but now that I'm older, it's like, whatever. What can you do? I did what I did. It's, it is what it is. You see what you see, and that's all I can't do anything about that, so it's out of my control.
No, I think that's definitely good, right?
Yeah,
because as you said, like, who is that person, right? Just because they feel that, it doesn't really mean anything.
No, I mean, it's just, I mean, I'm sorry that I didn't give them a good experience, but it's like, art is a thing where it's like, and that's the thing too. It's like, I love telling people, like, it is kind of fun to be like, hey, I made this movie for $4,000. And like, I hope when you watch it, you don't feel like it was $4,000, right? And then, but at the same time, I don't want people going into the movie necessarily knowing that. I want them just to watch the movie and judge it just as for what it is. I mean, sure, are you going to be able to tell it's a low budget movie? Absolutely, like, no doubt. But at the same time, I don't want it to well, that's not true. I want it to affect you how it affects you. So whether or not the fact it's low budget and that appeals to you, that's great. Whether or not you don't know it's low budget, but you just really like the story, cool. Whatever appeals to you about the movie or doesn't appeal to you, that's cool, man. I mean, that's what it's all about. It's just how art is what it is. And I can't sit next to them and go, well, see, in this scene, what I actually meant was, so they're just going to see what they're going to see.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a big one, right?
Yeah.
And I've seen really good indie films that I thought have been better than some of the major studio films.
Oh, me too.
Totally.
Totally.
Like this year, like, there were some okay films that had dropped, right? But it wasn't until Sinners and The Return that I was just like, okay, these two are hitting that bar that you're expecting from a big studio joint, and they're not even big studio films.
No,
That was the thing. They were films from studios, but they weren't these huge budget films. But those were the first two that were like, okay, the year's looking up. Because there would be some decent things, but I feel I'd seen better indie films up to that point. So it's always an interesting. I mean, it's always an interesting thing. I always try and be very, subjective, right? If I don't like something, you know what I mean? It's never, well, this was rubbish. It was just like, these are the elements that don't work for me.
Yeah, sure.
Right? This is why, there was a film I watched the other day, and it just felt like there was no character depth with anyone. And they've got this lead character, and they're like, hey, tell us, what do we do? And they're like, but you haven't set anything up to show why she would be that leader, why anyone would trust her in this scenario. You know what I mean? And so, I break it down like that, but also I'm like, I'll try and give people references. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, if you enjoyed these films, I think you'll like this one. You know what I mean? Because it's just like, it's not for me, but I know a load of people love these films. So I think if you love these films, this one probably will work for you.
It's interesting to go back to what you were just saying about like lower budget films. Is like there's a part of me that I love aesthetically sometimes I love the look of low budget movies. I like it when movies look rough around the edges. Like,
Mm,
you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, I can tell this thing was shot for $300, but like, there's something about that grittiness that adds to the aesthetic that I really like.
yeah.
Like when you watch, like Spike Lee's first movie, She's Gotta Have It or whatever. I mean, that
Mm,
movie looks like, is shot low budget, 16, but it's cool though. There's something cool about it, and
yeah.
the story works. And when all those elements combine, it makes something special that doesn't look like, because right now my biggest issue is that everything on Netflix and all the streamers right now aesthetically looks the same.
Mm,
They're all
mm,
going for that teal and orange candy coated look, and everything looks like everything else, and it's driving me nuts. I'm like, I don't like looking at these things anymore. I like it when movies look different. Like, I don't want a movie to look perfect. I just want it to look interesting. Like,
yeah.
just, it doesn't have to, even if something goes out of focus for a second, I don't care, as long as there's something interesting happening and the point of view is interesting. I don't care if there's grain or scratches or whatever on the film, or if the or if it looks too pixelated because it's not balanced right. I don't care. It's like, I'd rather that than something on Netflix that makes me fall asleep because it's boring and looks just dull and
Yeah.
uninteresting to me.
Well, it's funny because Trevor says something in the film
Uh-huh.
that always it bugs me, right? Because he's just like, well, it's this hot, and if you ran, you'd be sweating and your clothes would be messy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And there's so many times, like I forget what it was. I watched something just the other day, and I think they're going through a desert,
Uh-huh.
and oh, that was it. The new Red Sonja film,
Oh,
and their clothes are always perfect and pristine. You're
yeah,
riding horses through
yeah.
dirt and everything. There'd be splatter and stuff. No one's gonna have pearly white teeth.
Right.
And I'm just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of times that you have this stuff with these studios, and they do not think about these little details.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
those little things, like, did you ever see that HBO series Rome?
Parts. I never watched the whole thing, but I know exactly what you're talking about. I've seen parts of it. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it was ABC, because HBO had Rome, and I think ABC had a limited series dealing with the fall of the Roman Empire as well. And they
Yeah.
both kind of dropped around about the same time.
Right.
And the difference about this other one, everything was all shiny and
Yeah.
perfect. And
Yeah.
it just, I'm watching it, I'm just like, I mean, that's not, what are we doing?
Right.
You know, but
Right.
Rome was gritty and
Yeah.
dirty, and it
Yeah.
looked, you know what I mean, uncouth. And I'm
Yeah.
thinking, that's what you want, like
Yeah.
the grime, right? The
Yeah.
the balance of it all, like
Yeah.
that sometimes is the thing that is needed
Yeah.
for the viewer to feel completely, you know what I mean, drawn into something.
Totally. Yeah. I love that. I mean, I totally agree with you. Like especially on TV, when things look a little too shiny, it's like, it just feels like it just feels. I mean, it's not that it's necessarily all bad. And it depends. Like sometimes like comedies kind of maybe work better that way. Like, a
Yeah.
sitcom or something is fine. But if you're dealing with ancient Rome, you want it to look a little grimy, because they were, you know. Um, yeah, totally. I totally agree with that.
Mm.
So yeah, I like things that look interesting, one
Yeah.
way or the other. So
Oh, definitely.
yeah.
Definitely. And yeah,
Yeah.
cover is definitely interesting, Cameron.
Thanks, man. Thank
You
you.
did a really good job. And
Thanks, man.
so yeah, I was very pleased that the horror collective Shirley sent this through, because
Yeah, I'm thrilled because I'm like, as the name implies, they are the horror collective. They do a lot with horror movies. So I was like, oh, you want thriller. It's not really a horror movie. It's horror adjacent, I guess. But it's not like a horror movie. But so that's why I was like, hey man, I'm thrilled you guys want this because I actually the next one I'm making is a flat out horror movie. It is straight up horror, but this one is a little more inspired by film noir than really horror. So yeah, it's good stuff, man.
But you will be at Fright Fest.
We'll be at Fright Fest, which is which is amazing. So I can't wait. I leave next Friday, so I'm really thrilled. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, man.
And any other festivals after?
As of right now, I don't know. I know there were a few I applied to I haven't heard from yet. So we'll see. But if this is the last one for this one, that's cool. Because like I said, it starts streaming at the end of August, and then I've got this other one I'm working on. So I'm kind of focused on that. So we'll see where that one goes.
Okay.
Maybe I'll be talking to you again.
I hope so. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what you do next, man.
Yeah,
man. It was a great feature debut.
Thank you.
You did a really good job, man. So, hey, congratulations on the film.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Let people know how they can keep track of what you do, the film, and when you're going to be at Fright Fest.
Okay, so first of all, Fright Fest. Fright Fest is the film will be screening on August 23rd. That's Saturday from at 8:50 p.m. And then on Monday, the 25th at 6 p.m. I have these all memorized in my head. So that's next week in the end of August there at Fright Fest in London. And then the film will be streaming August 26th on all the major, stream wherever you want to stream it, basically. You can check out the website. mocamproductions.com is my website that's got information about the movie. I even have a little thing about how I made it. Like I wrote up a little thing on there. It's got the news about the movie, stuff like that. Social media, you can find me at Cameron Francis 5 on Instagram. I'm on Facebook, Cameron Francis. I tend to post a lot about the movie. So definitely check it out.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Okay, people, all the links will be on the website. So make sure that you go through, you follow Cameron, you follow the studio, because, hey, it sounds like we got a lot in the pipeline. And if anything is, we can take anything away from cover, Cameron knows how to make a frigging good film, right?
Yeah, man.
So,
cool.
we have a lot to look forward to. And if you're in London, I think the screening's at the Odeon Lux.
It is, right? Yeah. It's in yes, that's correct. Yeah. And I should have shouted out, of course, go to thehorrorcollective.com. They have all the info too about the film as well. Yeah.
And Fright Fest is looking. I spoke just yesterday to the Nicole Hall from Super Happy Fun Clown.
Right. Is she going to be there?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, great. I'm anxious to I want to meet the rest of the Horror Collective family, so that'll be good.
Yeah, and that's a really good film too. So it looks like Fright Fest is definitely a ticket that you'll want to cop, people. So hey,
good movies there.
Go and check it out, and especially for some cover action.
Yes, cover action. You got a little bit of action. Yeah, I got some guns in it and stuff. There's a little action in there.
Cameron, this has been great. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you. I was about to call you Scott. Kevin, excuse me. I really appreciate it, man.
Hey, no worries. And yes, when you have your next project, please stop by and we will have another fun chat.
100%. Sounds good.
Awesome. Man, enjoy your time in London. Let me know when you touch down.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you going to be at Fright Fest or?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm always close by, so
I'll
be in the vicinity, I imagine.
Cool. Awesome. Hey, this was great, man. Really great chat.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
Thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Hey, take it easy.
You too, man. There we go.